Now, if you see in last session we have done single dimensional arrays, right? Now today what we are going to do is we are going to see three things. One is two-dimensional arrays, then command line arguments, and starting up with Eclipse. Okay, we will understand what Eclipse is, what are different parts of Eclipse, how to create a project in Eclipse, right? These are the three things that we have to do today. Now, when it comes to a two-dimensional array, it is about storing values in rectangular order, right? In rectangular manner, right? For example, sometimes someone will ask you that I want you to store details of 10 cities, certain details of 10 cities, right? So there you need to have cities and then you need to have details regarding those cities, right? That means that you want to view two different dimensions of the same data, okay? Or if you can say that I want to store marks of 5 subjects of each student, right? So it means here for that student you want to see another dimension also, right? So whenever you have to work, you have to have control over more than one dimension of a particular data, you will go with multi-dimensional arrays, right? In Java, Java supports 2D, 3D, that is two-dimensional, three-dimensional, right? But if you see internally, all these dimensional arrays, multi-dimensional arrays, are organized in form of single dimension only, right? So you can say that when we talk about two-dimensional array, it's an array of arrays, okay? Where your row will store reference of another array, right? So whether it is C, C++, or Java, everywhere two multi-dimensional arrays are nothing but their collection of n number of single dimensional arrays, okay, where each single dimensional array stores data about something, right? So let's start with two-dimensional array. Objective is common. First question is how to create two-dimensional arrays. Now, in order to create two-dimensional arrays, what you will do is, then you will be declaring instead of one square bracket, two square brackets, and you'll write here data, right? This is what is declaration. We have not specified any row or any column here because that we will do and we'll go and create instance when we will go and allocate memory, right? So how to allocate memory? You'll go and specify data equals to new int, pass here whatever you want, right? So now this is an array, two-dimensional array with 2 rows and 3 columns in each row. Is that clear? Now sometimes when you know about the data, you can go with this approach also. You can write int 2 dimensions data equal to each row again underscore brackets separated by this, right? So you can have here 2, 4, 6. You can have here 1, 3, 5, right? So again, this is a two-dimensional array where you are not using new keyword because you are aware about data before you start writing the program, right? So similar to single dimensional array, memory will be allocated when actually you go and initialize it. Is that clear? Good. Now how to access data? In order to access data, it's simple. You will be using what? name of the array, data, and which row and which column you want to actually access, right? So this reads data in second row and second column, right? Because index here also starts with 0, right? Index starts with 0. Is that clear? So 0 is the row index and 0 is the column index. Fine. So this is how you will go and you will read data from the array. If you want to initialize, it's the same. You'll be using data, whatever you want, equal to, depending on the data type, you can go and you can specify the value, right? So this is initializing arrays. Is that clear? Fine. So now once you have done this, next task is to go and write a program and check out and talk about something which is specific to arrays in Java. Okay. So I'll just go here and I'll write a program, simple one. Class two-dim I'm writing. Two-dimensional arrays, to specify two-dimensional arrays. Write public static void main, and here I'll pass string args. Let's declare array int equal to, let me initialize it here. I'll write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So this is an array which we have declared and we have initialized as well, right? So finding number of rows. If I want to find number of rows, I'll just go and write system.out.println. ARR dot length. So this returns the number of rows. Now, if I want to find out number of columns each row, what I can do, I can write here system.out.println and ARR row number 0 dot length. Right. So this returns you number of columns in first row, and when you directly use dot length with the array reference, it returns you number of rows. Right. This is what is basic difference between finding out number of rows and number of columns. I'll go and save it. To dim.java Let's save it. It's saved. We'll go to command prompt. And here what I'll do, I'll write JavaC. Now if spelling mistake is there, I'll correct it. Thank you, Vidya. I'll go and I'll run it. Compile it first. And then run it. If you see, it displays you number of rows and number of columns present in first row. Okay, it means that in Java we can have rows with dissimilar number of columns. Okay, for example, assume that here I'm having 2 columns for first row. For second row, I'm having 3 columns. For fourth row, I'm planning to have 4 columns. Okay, so I can have now arrays with dissimilar number of columns. Okay, where each row can have the required number of columns. The benefit of this approach is, if you don't have all properties present in first row, you need not go and necessarily allocate memory, right? So you'll end up saving lots of memory when you go with this approach. And Java itself will negotiate memory through JVM from local operating system, right? So whatever memory is allocated to Java, it will try to maximize its usage in best possible way, right? So this is the reason why Java came up with this approach. Now each row will have its own number of columns. For example, I can go here and we can print the number of columns present in each row. I'll save it. I'll tell you with it. Just wait. I'll come to that. First, you try to understand this. I'm going to show you that as well. I'll just go and compile it, and I'll run it. So 2, 3, 4. Right. Now, if we have to create an array with dissimilar number of columns, right? I'll just go and declare here. See, ARR 2 equal to new int, right? I will go and specify number of rows. So say I'm taking 3 rows here also. And since I'm going to specify different columns for different rows in my 2 dimensions, I will not specify number of columns. Sparse matrix is something where you can have arrays with dissimilar number of columns. And then what we have to do is, we'll take ARR2 index of the row, I'll take 0, equal to new int and see 3. So here what we did, we created another array and reference of that array is stored in ARR2 0, right? Good. So this is nothing but allocates memory, or you say, let me say memory to columns. So how many columns we'll have now? 3 columns which can hold value of type integer. Now I'll go and I'll take ARR2 first or second row. I want it to have only 2 columns, right? And when it comes to ARR 3, ARR 2, second row, third row, because I have declared 3 equal to new int something, whatever you want, say 4, right? So your array is created. Now you can go and initialize it with whatever value you want. For example, I'll go and take for int I equal to 0, I is less than ARR 2 dot length. Since I want to now execute this for all rows, I plus plus. Now I'll go and I will put natural number in the cells which gets created as a result of row and column here. I just go and write for int j equal to 0, j is less than ARR2 dot, here I'll take what, I dot length. I want to execute now this inner loop only for number of times of value that we have in the columns, right? So this will execute depending on number of columns. I'll write here ARR j plus plus, right? Let's go and initialize it with some value and then we will display it. I'll write here ARR2 I j, right, equal to number plus plus, and here outside this loop I am declaring int number which I will use to initialize, right? Is this clear? Steps are clear with you? Okay, fine. Now I want to display. So for displaying also it's all the same. I'll just go and take here same for loop in order to display. Only one difference is there. Instead of writing this, you will write system dot out dot print. Now I want to print it in proper order, so I will just type a print. I don't want to move it to next line. Single row I want to print in the same line. So I'll just go and write here ARR2 I j. Just give a space so that next number comes after that space. And once one row is over, then you will go for new line character. So for new line character, you'll go and write here system dot out dot println, and here we will pass ARR2 I j. Now just see the output. Instead of ij, I'll just go and put nothing here. So after each row, it is println will get executed, which will insert a new line character so that you can see values of rows in single line, right? I'll go and I'll save it. I'll try to compile it. There is an error, brace problem. This is closing for this is closing for this, closing for this, closing for this. I think we have extra. No, it's fine. Println is fine. Okay, I'll in print means it will print in single line. and when you go with ln, new line. Every time println get executed, it starts from new line. Any problem is there with this, I will correct it. So I will save. Just count number of opening braces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 6 are number of opening places. Same should be their number of closings also. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5, right? I'll save it. Sorry. Now I'll go and I'll run it. If you see, I'm getting 1, 2, 3 first row, 4, 5 second row, and 6, 7, 8, 9 third row. So this is how you will work with two-dimensional arrays. Is that clear? Fine. Now once you know two-dimensional arrays, we can move to second topic of the day, and that is command line argument. Now these are few simple things which I'll let you know. What do we mean by command line argument? See, we have various type of arguments that we can pass in programs. For example, you have arguments that you pass to method. Like here I am calling print and I am passing this data to the print. Now, similarly, sometimes you will like to pass value from the environment. Okay. So those variables are called as environmental variables. Right? Now from where you will pass environmental variable? Environmental variable you will pass from the place from where you execute or run the program. Okay, right? And when you pass that environmental variable, assume that you are passing some environmental variable in the terminal, right? Because here you will pass, right? From here you will pass, and just go here. I'll clear your screen. Now, if you see, if I want to run this program and pass some environmental variable, how I will pass? I will write Java, then I'll write name of the bytecode, totem, followed by 1, 2, hello, whatever I want to pass, right? So if you see, whatever you are passing here is of type string, right? And this data automatically goes and gets stored in array, right? In a single dimensional array, which you are passing where? Here. So this data will go and it will get stored here. Is that clear? So whatever you are passing in main, that string array, it's nothing but it's a facility that provides you capability of passing environmental variable when you are running the program, right? Once you pass any environmental variable there, its value will go and get stored in this particular array. Okay? Is that clear? Eileen, is that clear? Okay, fine. So quickly, we know now what is array. We'll go and we will write the program in order to work with two-dimensional arrays, in order to work with command line argument, right? So what I'll do in the same class, I'll go down here and I'll create another class, because one Java file can have multiple classes, right? Only thing is, ensure that name of the class should be similar to name of the public class. As of now, we have no public class. So I'll just go here and write class environmental variable test. Here I'll take public static void main string args. And let me write here a loop for int I equal to 0, right? And then arg, you can compare I is less than args dot length, right? And you can write here I plus plus. Fine. And as simple as this, you can just go and print the value as of now. Though you can use it in whatever way you want, but I'm just printing it so that you can know, yes, values are getting collected in the array there. Println args I. That's it. It's done. I'll save it. I'll try to compile it. Compiled. Now I will like to execute env var test instead of today. So I'll write here Java env var test. Now I'm pressing enter. It's not printing anything because we have not passed any value from command line argument. Now I'll pass here 1 and say AAA. I can pass 10.9 also because all of them are of type string and you get the value. It's clear, right? Fine. So this is how actually you will work with command line argument. Simple, right? This becomes one of the ways in which actually you can go and you can take some data from environment, right? So this data is nothing but is the data which is stored in this particular array. Okay? Is that clear? Fine. So this is clear, then you are aware about two-dimensional arrays also. Okay? Right. Next is Eclipse, right? So how many of you have downloaded Eclipse? For example, I have told you in last session, right, which Eclipse you have to download. Either you have downloaded Shalini, Eileen. Okay, good. So we'll have here a quick 5 minutes break. Post break, I will start up with what is Eclipse and how to use Eclipse as an IDE for Java. Okay? No, Vidya, we cannot because this is what is signature which is predefined. If you will do it here, see, if I'm doing it here 2 dimensions, like this, and if I save it, I'll just go and run it, compile it once first. Code gets compiled because that is a method, but when I go and run it, it gives me what? Main not found. Okay? Fine. So this is the reason why we cannot pass 2-dimensional array to main method. So we'll have a 2 to 3 minutes of break so that you can go and get some coffee for yourself, and we'll start up with Eclipse then. Okay? Right, so I'll go on mute for 3 minutes. Now, if you see here, when it comes to IDs, that is Integrated Development Environment. Objective of IDs is to simplify development, right? By giving certain features like auto code complete, right? Error detection and resolution, right? So there are certain features which are provided to you by IDs, right? In Java, you will have multiple IDs in market. For example, Eclipse is one of them. Then you have NetBeans. Then you have JDeveloper from Oracle, right? And apart from this, you will have various flavors of Eclipse which is available. For example, you'll have Kepler, you'll have Helios, right? You'll have Galileo, right? So there are various flavors, right, of Eclipse, right? Using these Eclipse flavors, there are vendors like IBM, JBoss and all. They have created their own IDs as well, which is powered by Eclipse, right? So I can say RAD, right? Then you have JBoss IDE, right? You have WebLogic Workshop, right? So these are some of the IDs which are powered by Eclipse. It means base is Eclipse itself, right? So these are various IDs, right? Installation of IDE is simple. You should go and you should download the right package of the Eclipse that you want, because we are going to follow Eclipse here, and then extract it. After extracting, you need to just go and start Eclipse by clicking on its runtime that. Okay, so I'll just go to my Eclipse which I have here. It again so that you can see. Right, now I'll launch. Now the minute we launch Eclipse, what it says? It says it is loading Workbench. Okay, right. Now if you see here, this is the place where you can specify your working directory in Eclipse. Okay, fine. So for example, I will go and I will create a workspace for you. So let me write here Java Joule batch. Okay, I'm writing this batch 2 because I'll get confused otherwise, right? Batch 2. I'll click on OK. Now, the minute I click on OK, what happens? Your Eclipse will prepare itself, right, to ensure that whatever Java project you are creating, it goes and it gets loaded here. Right? So this is also called as working directory, right? After this, what you have to do is you have to go and close, click on OK, right? I'll just go and click on OK. But the minute you do this, what happens? It starts launching Workbench. Okay. So if you see the messages which are getting displayed, it is saying what? Loading Workbench. Now Workbench is the place where actually you will go and you will write your programs. Okay. Let it launch. It is launching Workbench, which will project you tools and everything where you can write your code, compile your code, test your code, debug your code, right? Now this is what is welcome page. I'll just go and close welcome page. Now once I close welcome page, now searching for runtimes not required for you as of now. It gives you 4 different parts: first, second, third, and fourth, right? Most important here, or more important here, is this Java EE. Okay. Now if you see this Java EE, this is what is called as perspective. Okay. Now depending on perspective which you have selected, your Eclipse will load those tools only. So for example, if you see here, you have marker, you have server, then you have data source, you have so many options are there here, right? Because current perspective is what? Current perspective is Java EE. Now if I have to change perspective, what I need to do? I will just go here and select perspective. Now let me take core Java perspective. Click on OK. Now you see, the minute you load it, core Java perspective, are you able to see here server down in the tool part? Are you able to see server anywhere here? No, right? Okay. Fine. So what happens? It means that when you change perspective, dynamically Eclipse loads and unloads features and plugins which are probably not needed. Okay. So for example, again when I move or switch to, if I again go and switch to Java EE, I'll again find server, data source, everything available, right? So it depends. You want to work in what perspective, right? Perspective will tell Eclipse to load the required plugins and features on the workbench. Okay, is that clear? Fine. So this part is called as Package Explorer, where you will go and have a list of all projects that you have created under the current workspace. Okay. Then comes outline. Now when we say outline, outline takes responsibility actually of doing what? Displaying the outline of the context which you have selected instead of displaying details, right? It will not display details, it will just display what is there here, a brief summary. For example, if it is a class, it will just display methods which are available, not details of the method, right? It helps us to quickly navigate from one part to other part. Then you have problems. Any error, it will go to problem, right? Most important part is this. This is what is your client area, okay, right? This is client area. Client area means if you are using editors, right? Java editor, it will get loaded here. XML editor, it will get loaded here. HTML editor, it will get loaded here, right? So this is called as client area, where actually developers will interact, right? Is it clear? So these are 4 primary parts: first, second, outline, and fourth. The rest of them we can close as of now because they are added as part of the plugin. These are the 4 basic and mandatory ones which are required when you go with Eclipse. Is that clear? Fine. Now let's go and create a project. There are various ways. You can go to File, New, Java Project. Or you can be in the Project Explorer, right click, New, Java Project. We want to create Java project. So I'll just go here and create project. When you create project, you will go and give a name to the project, right? So this becomes name of the project. Now what you can do is, you can specify that which JRE you want to use. As of now, we want to use what? Java SE 1.7. This is what is execution environment. Now, one system can have multiple JVMs, right? If you want to change the JVM standard that you want to have as an execution environment, you just click here, and once you click here, what happens? It displays you all the available standards. Let it be 1.7, right? Then most important button is always what? Next, right? We'll go and click next. Now once you click on next, it gives you SRC, right? Now if you want to have compiled code added somewhere or to be added in bin, you can go and specify the required default output folder also. Output folder is basically what? Compiled classes, .class files will get stored there, and you will see that. I'll just go and click on finish. Rest of them you don't worry as of now. Now you have a project ready where you can go and write source. Okay, so when I say writing source, just go here, right click, new, and you see you can do all this. I want to write a class, right? Give a name to the class. As of now, I'll just give test Java, right? If you want a main method to be part of it, you can just go and select this main. Okay, this is nothing but it helps you to actually have stub ready. Okay, is that clear? It's clear, right? So when we say it will have stub ready, right? So we'll select public static void there. Rest of them you don't worry. We'll come to that once we move forward. Now you will get structure of your Java class loaded in the editor, right? You go and you write whatever you want. For example, if you see, I told you that ID provides you lots of shortcuts. For example, I'll write here sys out control spacebar. It automatically completes, right? So you can say sys out plus ctrl plus spacebar will automatically write system.out.println. Now you write something here like hello, right? Now in case if you will make any mistake, you say I'm going and making here a mistake, you will get a cross here. This cross tells what is the reason, right? So you will get suggestions also. Now please understand, suggestions may not be always appropriate. Okay, it just suggests which you can use. Now believe me, the minute you save your code compiled, right? In order to see where that class file has got generated, what I do is see, I'll go to Window, Show View, and apart from Package Explorer, I'll take Navigator. Now this Navigator tells you the path. You see, SRC is there, and inside bin you will have the class file. Okay, is this clear? Right. You need not worry there as of now. Now you want to run. See, in order to run this, select the class or be in the editor, right click, run as Java application. I'll run here. Output is displayed in the console. Similarly, you can go and run from here also. Or you can go and run it from here also. Okay. See? Right? So this is how you will be executing the program. Is that clear? Now I want to display environmental variable. Right. So what I'll do here, I'll go and I'll write for int I equal to 0, I is less than args I plus plus. This is what we have written. Control space bar autocomplete, right? Now here I want to print ARGS 0. Whatever is the first argument. I'll save it here and I'll run it. See what is the output. Nothing. Why? Because we have not passed anything to ARGS. Now big question is, there we were able to pass by writing Java, name of the program file or the class, and then followed by the environmental variable, right? In order to pass environmental variable in Eclipse, you have to run it in a different way, and that is right click, run as. Instead of selecting Java application, you go and configure your run. Go to arguments and specify here whatever you want to pass, like 10, press tab or give space. Right, better is to use enter. 10, right here something. Right, I'll just go and click on apply, and now you run. You'll find here ARG0 is 10. Is that clear? Clear, right? Now I'll go and I'll write I, so that we can see all values. Run it. You'll find whatever you have passed there. Is that clear with you? Eileen, Shalini, is that clear? Fine. Now task for you is, whatever program I have given you, arrays program, right? Write all programs using Eclipse. Is that clear? This is what I want you to do. Okay? Is that clear? Fine. So you just have some hands-on on Eclipse also, because next session onwards I'll be taking up longer session, because we are going to start up with core Java. Okay? Till now it was all basics of Java. We'll start up with Java, where we will start discussing about object-oriented programming system, right? Followed by class, followed by the rest of the features. Okay? Is that clear? Fine. So just have some hands-on this, and we'll proceed from here in next.